Okay, the stream is live. We can begin the meeting. Chair Palmer, I don't know if you want to go ahead and handle calling things to order from your end.
Denise can do that. I just want to apologize to Denise and the board. I just did a brain dump and I'm sitting here thinking Zoom and I meant to meet in person, so apologize for that. I'll claim a senior moment. So I'm going on mute. Denise, if you can just pick it up.
That's fine. More than willing to help.
So if we can go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Let's call the meeting to order, our Veterans Advisory Commission on Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. I would ask our staff liaison to do the roll call, please.
Thank you, Chair Palmer. And Vice Chair Polk.
Present.
Commissioner Stemple.
Here.
Commissioner Gregel.
Here.
Commissioner Dominic.
Present.
Commissioner Zymek.
Here.
And Commissioner Monroe.
Present.
Great. Thank you all very much. We have a full attendance of the commission. And Vice Chair Polk, Chair Palmer, just so you know, we are scheduled to have a presentation from Rocky Coronado from Be Connected AZ. He was coming in via Zoom. I do not see him here. And so that may be a portion of the agenda that we do not get to this evening. But the next item on the agenda would be a discussion and possible action to approve the minutes from your April 7 meeting.
So I would just open, if anybody has any comments or discussion about the minutes that were emailed to us from our April 7th meeting.
So moved.
I guess that ends the discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
And let's just go ahead and ask those on participating via Zoom. Chair Palmer, what's your vote?
Oh, I
Aye.
apologize.
And Commissioner Monroe?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion
Sorry for
passes
the
unanimously. I think that's quite all right. This is actually, I believe it's the city's first hybrid commission meeting out of all of our commissions. So once again, the armed services are leading the way. But
Of course we are.
we might have a stumble here or there. Thank you. So I would suggest, Vice Chair Polk, that since we do not have our guest presenter with us, that we pass over that agenda item and move on to agenda item 4.
I would agree.
And then if he comes in, we can circle back.
Absolutely. All right, so moving on to item agenda 4, presentation discussion by Chairman Palmer regarding the 2019 census data for Scottsdale.
Yeah, and I just wanted to update you all, and again, apologize for putting you in the position, Denise. Just wanted to update you all. When the census came out, they actually updated the Scottsdale population. It's only 2 slides this time. I just wanted to show you all the slides. We actually had a reduction by about 1,000 people or 1,000 veterans in Scottsdale from the last time we did. A census, so these are the new numbers that you'll see. We're seeing about 16,000 vets that are here, and the veterans over 65 make up 66%, which is actually a decrease. So I'm making a guess those 1,000 that we lost may have been the older group. But you can also see the breakdown by age. Any questions on this slide?
Chair Palmer, this is Vice Chair Polk. I actually have a question about the term loss, and maybe I'm not seeing it, but does that refer to a confirmed passing? Is it perhaps that they just weren't quote unquote accounted for? Do we know that?
No, we just know that the census had about 16,000 or about 1,000 more veterans in the 2010 versus the 2020 census. So we had a decrease in the number of veterans. That's the top right. And I don't show you the previous slide, but or the previous piece, but I don't know if they're passing or not.
Okay.
All I know is the percentage for over 65 actually went down some. And the total number of vets is still around 6% for the Scottsdale area.
Okay, thank you.
Next slide. And this breaks it down, by different categories, the percentage. And again, I just pulled what was in there, no particular reason. The disability rate is still higher than average compared to the Scottsdale norm. Again, didn't put that on the slide, but the veteran poverty rate is well below the norm for the city of Scottsdale. So those are the only 4 data point slides we got out of the this year's census, or 2020 census. Actually, the data is from 2019, but that's what they counted for the 2020 census. So any questions on any of these slides? And this is just an update that we just keep updating in terms of our work plan on what's the demographics for veterans in the area. So if there,
Commissioner
is there
Palmer,
any questions?
can you
Yeah.
send a copy of these slides to each one of us? Or do we have access
Sure,
to them?
They were linked.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, Kelly. I
Yeah,
think you
members
sent
of the
out with
commission,
brief-
they're linked as part of the agenda. So if you click on that link that's in the online agenda, you'll find these.
I have a question, Chair Palmer. This is Vice Chair Polk again.
Sure.
One thing that's caught my attention, the Scottsdale Veterans by Education. And do we have any reference that allows us to know whether our Scottsdale veterans, college educated, is that higher than the national norm? Or I'm impressed at the circle graph and that percentage. And I was just wondering if there was a comparison in any way.
I'm sure if we go to the census link, we can get the national norm for education. I didn't look at it from that side, so I don't know that answer. But if you've been to the Census Bureau website and do this, they've got all kinds of data. It's just a question of how you want to look at it sometimes. These were prepared slides by them. I just added some percentages here, but we can look that up, Denise, and see where it goes.
And I will very well do that even on my own. I'm just curious because again, that I'm impressed by that percentage. So just kind of want to compare it to what the national average may be, just maybe for my own curiosity, if nothing else. Thank you.
Chair Palmer, Commissioner Zimak again. To break down this data further, at T-Bird, we're interested more at this point in helping veterans that are disabled or have PTSD, perhaps with a dog for vet type organization or something of that nature. Do we have any idea of all these numbers of veterans in Scottsdale, how many are in fact disabled or suffer from PTSD or any military related injury?
It doesn't break it down to that fidelity. It just gave us a percentage. The 27% you see there is what they said. Given that the majority is over 66, there would be a lot of us in that category that might be disabled. But we don't have any broken down by detail. We definitely don't have the names. But I understand why the concern would be there. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that doesn't. And I don't know, because of HIPAA, if we'd ever be able to find out that data.
Yeah, not by name. I doubt we'd be able to. And I don't think they break it down by, it's just people that are classified as disabled is, I think, where they got the data. Again, I would refer everybody, if you're interested, and I can get you the links to that, but basically just Google it and ask for Scottsdale veterans or Scottsdale city veterans, and this data just pops up. And then they've got a bigger spreadsheet that breaks it down into much greater detail, but it's not real easy to plow through.
Were there any other questions on this discussion on this topic?
Vice Chair Polk, we do have our, just so you know, our guest presenter is in the virtual room now. I just wanted to mention that, and I was just trying to look up when we can expect to see the 2020 decennial census data published. You might have seen at the end of March, they published the national numbers and the statewide numbers. We have not yet received the city by city numbers, but we should get those. I believe it's in September is when they're committed to having that level of data provided to the city. So at that point, there might be some more data for you to consider and some more ability for you to take this historic data and compare it against those 2020, which will be the most up-to-date numbers, obviously, that we have.
Hey, Kelly, the city's data was on the website as well.
But I think those were 2019 numbers. And so what I'm talking about is the 2020 decennial census numbers.
Yeah, my take on it was the 2019 census data for Scottsdale. That's the data they're using for the 2020. So, because they don't do this every year, do they?
Every 10 years.
Every 10 years.
And Chair Palmer, members of the commission. So if you look at the top right of this data, it says U.S. Census 2019 ACS, which is the American Community Survey. The census does a survey every year. It's a random sample survey, and that's what they use to provide these between decade census data sets. Mm-hmm. So it's not a complete count like they always strive for with the full decennial census, but it is information that, I mean, the cities all use it. It's very useful from a number of perspectives. So what I'm seeing in this is that it's the 2019 data from that annual survey that they do. What we will get later this year is the full decennial census figures, which will really reset the baseline for everything. And then from there is where the city and organizations like the Maricopa Association of Governments will be based the new population projections on. So every year we'll get a population projection. It's based on a formula, but it'll all come off the last decade census. And so that's the 2020 numbers, the census that was conducted in April of 2020 are the numbers that we're waiting on. And of course, everything was pushed back.
And that's when it's required every 10 years.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly, that's a good question because I misunderstood because the data when it came out, when they announced, I guess they do it just at the state and aggregate level. So the city takes longer to break it down for them. Is that what you're saying?
Chair Palmer, members of the commission, that is correct. We have not yet gotten that granular city level. We'll get the city level down to the census tract. So we will be able to dig deep into those numbers and still in an aggregate fashion, certainly no personal level information, but we'll be able to understand the demographic makeup of the different areas of Scottsdale.
Okay, my mistake then. I thought the 2019 was what they were using. So got it.
Still very interesting though, and helpful and informative. So thank you, Chair Palmer.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions?
I think it's amazing. You got about 85% that in either 4-year or less than a degree, but most, college educated in some way. That's pretty, I wonder how that might be compared to what you see in the overall Phoenix area. I think that's it, says something.
Yeah, as I shared, I'm going to look that up and I'll be more than happy to share that with the commission because as I shared, I find that very interesting.
Yeah, and we'll see what the real breakdown is when the feds release all the city data.
Absolutely.
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, as I mentioned, we are at the tip of the spear with hybrid meetings. One of the things that I would ask you to do is state your name before you speak, because folks online are only seeing, I think they're just seeing my name associated with all of the conversation that's occurring in this room. So it would be helpful for the folks who are listening online to hear your names when you begin speaking. Thank you.
This is Vice Chair Polk. So are we, and I apologize for my informality, are we concluding this part of the agenda and then moving on to our Be Connected AZ presentation?
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, I believe the answer to that is yes. Let me ask Rocky Coronado, our guest presenter, if he can hear me and if he can speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure how you're doing this with the slides.
I will go back and find your slides.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And there we go. And Rocky, you can just cue me. This is Kelly, the staff liaison for the commission. Just cue me when you want your slides changed.
Okay. So I'll just start by saying that. Okay. So my name is Rocky Coronado. I'm an Air Force veteran, and I live up here in Prescott Valley in Yavapai County. I'm the navigator for Yavapai County with the Be Connected program with the Arizona Coalition for Military Families with the VA. And I started this a little over a year ago. Okay. Okay. So you see the first slide. Okay. Okay. So, you see on our website, our full referral line to making calls or going online if you want to check out resources. But the best way to make a referral is probably just to call the 1-866 number that you see there at the bottom of that slide. Our program was started back in like 2009 with the help of Senator John McCain's office to connect veterans and their families to services, resources, supports to help address their needs. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Okay, so Be Connected, it's a statewide effort to strengthen access to support and resources for over 600,000 service members, veterans, their families who reside in Arizona. So we've expanded quite a bit in the last several years. We now got over 20 people covering the state, although from time to time there's some vacancies, but when we're fully staffed, we'd have around 20 people. And again, I cover Yavapai County, and so it's generally a navigator for 1 to 2, maybe 3 counties, depending on the population. So regardless of where a veteran lives, they can get help from our program. Okay, go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, so Be Connected is implemented on behalf of the military and veteran communities in partnership with public and private sector stakeholders. The leadership partners represent different sectors of the military, government, community, work closely together to build upon existing community strengths to create the most effective program possible for our veterans and their families. Go ahead and go to the next one. Be Connected is part of the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, including the Phoenix VA, the Prescott VA up here in northern Arizona, and then the Southern Arizona VA in Tucson. And then we have some CBOCs around the state, like smaller offices of the VA, and who we kind of work with as well. And again, the program was created in coordination with the office of the late Senator John McCain. Senator McCain and his team were instrumental in having Arizona designated as a pilot program under the Clay Hunt Suicide Prevention for American Veterans Act, which helped establish the foundation by which our program was built. Okay, go ahead. So there's 3 components to the program. It's called Call, Match, and Learn. The program works towards helping reduce deaths by suicide in Arizona's population of service members and veterans, build upon existing capacity and strengths within our service systems, adding new layers of coordination and support, and demonstrating effectiveness and develop a sustainability plan that builds upon program components into systems and funding. Okay, go ahead. So call, we have the 24/7 support line that I showed on the other slide, the 866 number. Anyone can call that, including veterans, their family members, providers, anybody can call to make a referral. And then we match that veteran with the supports they need through a navigator, such as myself, to make sure they get hooked up with the right resources to help address the need that they have. And then we also do trainings, including in-person and online options, to help people obtain the knowledge, skills, and ability to help veterans. You know, some people aren't maybe familiar working with veterans, so we do that to kind of get people up to speed on, you know, the needs of veterans and some of the barriers veterans have, and how to help veterans in general. Okay, go ahead, next one. Okay, and this is more about becoming a Be Connected partner organization. There's a pre-application you can do online at the BeConnectedAZ.org website, and then someone from ACMF, Arizona Coalition for Military Families, would contact you. They're based in Phoenix, right near the VA, 3rd Street Indian School, to, you know, kind of go over the program with you and help make sure you have the support and training you need to help veterans. So you have our website and our 866 number again below for the referrals. Okay, go ahead and go to the next slide. Oh, I guess that must be it. Okay. Any questions on that, or?
Rocky, this is Vice Chair Polk. Thank you for this presentation and sharing your
Yeah, sure.
slides and information. One question I had is just on this final slide. I actually work for a nonprofit agency here or organization here in Scottsdale. So I'm curious by what you mean when with that sentence that states, if you're interested in becoming a Be Connected partner organization, is that public, private sector, individuals?
Oh, it could be anybody, really. Anybody who wants
Okay.
to help veterans and who can legitimately, you know, work with veterans. Maybe there's something that your agency does that veterans need or can utilize. And so ACMF, you know, wants to let those veterans and the community in general around Arizona know that your agency is willing and able to help veterans.
Okay, and can that be as simple, maybe simple isn't the right word, but through grant programs that may be offered that target certain organizations or veterans groups or is, I mean.
Yeah, that's possible, I think. Yeah.
wide-ranging? Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
and ACMF could let you know more about that based on the information you provide them about what you do, or your nonprofit does. They can kind of go over that with you.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to check out your website and I'll keep in touch, but thank you.
Yeah,
for this.
definitely. Sure.
Yeah, Rocky, this is Commissioner Zymek. Define what it is, kind of on the same lines that Commissioner Polk was discussing. Define what it is to become a partner. Does partner always entail a monetary contribution or just
No.
helping,
there's no
helping
dues.
somebody out, or define it for us?
Yeah, so there's no dues or membership fees or anything like that. It just means that ACMF, Arizona Coalition of Military Families, has you know, kind of vetted your organization to determine what it is you do to help veterans, and that you have a capacity of some sort to do that, a willingness and a resource available that veterans would want to use. Because sometimes we get people or agencies that say they help veterans, but they really don't, and maybe some of them are kind of like scams. So we just want to vet them to make sure that they really are legitimate. They want to help veterans, and specifically how they plan on doing that. And then we would add them to our, we would add them to our website, our ACMF website, build you into our system so that people could go online and see your agency in there based on the service you provide with your contact information.
All right, thank you. And this is Commissioner Zymek again. Assuming you've already been vetted by the city and Kelly's group, because that's why you're here. Are you on the Scottsdale Veterans website yet? And I see Kelly shaking his head yes, so that's a good start.
Yeah, if you guys are on there. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are not, but if Kelly says you are, then that's great. Yeah. But you could always talk to ACMF further if you guys haven't done so yet to, see about becoming a partner organization.
Thank you for that. This is Vice Chair Polk again. An additional question. Oh my goodness, I just went blank. Totally lost it. All right, sorry. If it comes back to me, I'll come back in. Thank you.
Sure.
And Vice Chair Polk, I don't see any other hands raised in the Zoom room.
This is Vice Chair Polk. I just thought of my question, so I'm going to ask, please. How many representatives do you have in the local Scottsdale area that you work with or help you to help veterans?
That's really hard to say. I mean, there's so many on our website. I haven't specifically looked for Scottsdale, but I mean, there's a lot in the Phoenix area. It could be in Mesa, Phoenix, Glendale, Scottsdale. So there's quite a few because Phoenix has such a large population. About 2/3 of the state is in Maricopa County. So there's going to be a lot of providers for Maricopa County, including Scottsdale, offering a variety of different services for veterans.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. I was just curious if it was broken down by suburb or metro area.
No. I mean, you could just type in a resource that you're looking for in the city, perhaps, and then it'll filter it out for you. Depending on where the veteran lives. If you're looking for veteran has a need for housing or something, and you could put in the city that you're looking for, and then it'll pull up what's in that area for that veteran.
Okay. Thank you very much. Again,
Sure.
Vice Chair Polk. Thank you.
Sure.
Did anybody else who is present or on Zoom have any other questions or comments for Rocky? I'm not seeing anything. I really, I'll just say on my behalf, I really appreciated the slides and have already written down a number of things. So looking forward to just kind of being more informed about your organization, and we appreciate your time, Rocky.
Oh, absolutely. No problem.
Thank you, Vice Chair Polk. Thank you, Rocky. This is Kelly, the staff liaison. That appears to conclude item 3. And you have discussed item 4. So that would take you to item 5 on your agenda.
And let me just add, this is Vice Chair Polk. Rocky, you're more than welcome to listen in if you would like, or again, you're also more than welcome just to log off and enjoy the rest of your evening, but we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So on to agenda item 5, update, discussion, and possible direction regarding the VAC work plan. And this is going to be spearheaded by Chairman Palmer. So Chairman Palmer, you have the floor.
This is just an opportunity if anybody wants to bring up on the work plan additions or efforts that might have been done so we could update that process. I will tell you that, excuse me, that Vice Chair Polk and I met with the mayor here this past week and updated him on what we were doing in the work plan. And he gave us guidance in the sense of he thinks he might want to be able to attend one of our meetings. So we welcomed him to attend that. So hopefully he'll come in and talk to the whole commission at one time. Vice Chair Polk, do you have anything to add from that meeting?
Well, the one thing I would like to share, again, this is Vice Chair Polk, just in the interest of keeping the commission informed, and Kelly is aware of this, and so is Chairman Palmer and the mayor's staff. The mayor has directly asked me to help with the wording of a proclamation for recognizing the month of June as PTSD Awareness Month. So I actually just today was contacted by his chief of staff and his administrative staff with that bare bones document. So I sent it back to them with a few questions for their staff and for the mayor, and any input that I feel that, you know, I could get from the commission. I will certainly reach out to you, but as of now, I've just seen the document, haven't even taken a stab at making it a little bit beefier. My understanding from the mayor's staff is that he would like it to be a bit more wordy. Again, it's pretty bare bones right now. So I'm going to do some research, and there's going to be some back and forth. So it's not like, I don't think there's the expectation that it's going to be perfect in this first draft. So I will keep the commission informed, and again, reach out to you if at any point I would like your input, or if the mayor indicates that he would like this to be kind of a commission-wide proclamation. So Kelly, did you have anything else to add?
Vice Chair Polk, members of the commission, no, well, I guess that I would add only one related item, and I'll just take this opportunity to give a little update on the Veterans AZ video program. We just released episode 2, which is focuses on Memorial Day, and we are already planning episode 3, which will focus on National PTSD Awareness Day, which I believe is June 27th. It's toward the end of June. So we are reaching out to some folks involved with the PTSD Foundation of America and other organizations to arrange some interviews that'll be zeroed in on that topic for the next episode, which we will release for the month of June. So that's what I wanted to share on that topic. Thank you.
And this is Commissioner Zymek. So to be clear, then June has already been declared the PTSD month.
So my understanding is that it's not just a city, it's a national recognition. And again, my understanding from the mayor is that from the city's perspective, they would like to have a proclamation and to build up more awareness within our city, and not just have it be like a monthly or national recognition. On a different note, again, this is Vice Chair Polk. For those of you on the commission or anyone listening, if you have not yet watched the second episode, I've watched it twice already. It is so good, Kelly. Thank you so much for all your work on that. And as Kelly knows, I have been forwarding both episodes to my dad up in Wisconsin, who's a veteran, and he in turn has been sharing it. So I'm very pleased and proud of the work that you're doing so far. And I just see it continuing to grow, and I don't want to say it's going to get better, because I don't know how it's going to get better, but I know that you're working hard at it. So thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you, Vice Chair Polk. It is definitely a labor of love. I believe you have actual hands raised from Commissioner Gregel and then Commissioner Dominic.
All right, Commissioner Gregel.
Yeah, this is Mike Gregel. 2 points I want to bring up. Number one is a compliment to both Chairman Palmer and Vice Chairman Polk. We were blessed to have Mayor Ortega stop by the Legion for lunch last Thursday. And he commented how he had just met with you all previously, and it was a great discussion, and he loved it. And at that time, when you've got a politician cornered, you take advantage of him. I asked him, was he aware that the American Legion National Convention is coming to Phoenix this summer in August, the last weekend of August. And one of the big events is the Legacy Run, which is the American Legion riders come several hundreds, almost thousands of miles, I think, depending where they're starting. This year, they're starting somewhere in Arkansas to Phoenix. They're going to end at the Arizona Memorial in downtown Phoenix, but the after ride gathering is going to be at Post 44 on the day before the convention starts. And so I've been keeping Kelly apprised of this as well. But the point was that number one, he said, whatever proclamations we need to do for the American Legion, for riders, or for the whole activity, he says, we're here to support. And he said, just let us know. And I told him that we have great connections with our staff liaison in terms of Kelly doing this. But again, to both you and Pete, Denise, he couldn't have been more complimentary. So I want to pass that on to you. People don't ever get to hear when they've done that, when somebody up at his level comes. The second point I wanted to bring up was the Memorial Day event. It generally is a rotating thing between the VFW, the Legion, and the DAV. The VFW here, post 35, VFW 3513 is kind of in a little disarray, and they asked post 44 to take over and kind of host this year. So we will be hosting it. It will be my last action for the post because we have a new commander starting 1 June. So, but we'll be here on the 31st of May, 10 p.m. down at the Civic Center. So if you're available, please come in. It'll be a social distance gathering outside. But again, as I said, the mayor said he's happy and looking forward to speaking at the event as well. So opening the door to you all on that. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Sorry.
This is Vice Chair Polk. Thank you for that. Appreciate your comments and your feedback. And Commissioner Dominic.
This is Commissioner Dominic. I just want to say, Kelly, I watched the video as well. It was wonderful. And I wanted to know if it would help for PTSD month when you're getting that together, if we had a couple of our PTSD specialists be involved in that interview.
This is Staff Liaison Kelly Corset. Commissioner Dominic, members of the commission, that would be great.
Excellent.
And I would love to talk to you offline about arranging that. I think that would be wonderful because it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to know what sort of resources are available.
And maybe even have a veteran who would be willing to discuss what their journey was.
Thank you, Commissioner Dominic. I am reaching out to a couple of gentlemen I know locally who are veterans and who are very active in the Arizona chapter of the PTSD Foundation of America. So I'm hopeful to arrange that, but other options are great as well. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Were there any other comments or hands raised on Zoom regarding this agenda item? All right. So I guess that concludes item number 5. And so we will move on to item number 6 on the agenda, commission members' reports, updates, and suggestions for future agenda items. Does anybody have some thoughts about how we want our meetings to look in the coming months? I know that for myself, it's nice to see faces and be in person, and let's hope that that continues moving forward. So I open that up to discussion if anybody has anything.
This is Commissioner Zymek. For one, I would like to see, as we've discussed many times, there are hundreds and hundreds of veterans organizations around the valley, and not to focus on any one particular, but it would be nice to hear something from the Vets for Dogs Foundation or the Dogs for Vets Foundation. It's such a unique sector in what we do and what we see in the valley, but specifically with PTSD, I know dogs are really a prime therapy service, and it would be nice for maybe one of our meetings we can get I know there's local organizations, Dogs for Vets or Vets for Dogs or whatever it is. That would be nice to hear more specifically about their program.
This is Vice Chair Polk. Thank you, Commissioner Zymek. Do you have a direct contact at an organization that we can refer Kelly to, or?
No, I do know there is I think it's it's not, there are some of them, there's dog vets and there's vets for dogs or
Okay,
dogs for vets, I think is actually run out of Chandler.
okay. Well, I see Commissioner Dominic's hand raised and I bet she has.
I
something she
do.
can
This is
share.
Commissioner Dominic and Kelly, I can email you a list.
Wonderful. Thank you.
This Vice Chair Polk again, are there any hands raised on Zoom?
Vice Chair Polk, I see no hands raised on Zoom, and I don't believe I see any in the room either.
All right, so I will conclude agenda item 6 and move on to 7, a motion for adjournment. Am I doing that correctly, Kelly?
Yes, Vice Chair Polk, I believe you are.
So moved. Commissioner Gregel.
So-
Okay.
Second, Chair Paul.
Thank you, Chair
You're late,
Palmer.
Pete.
It's okay, it's all good. All right, so this adjourns and concludes our May 5th Veterans Advisory Commission meeting. Again, thank you for all those who participated via Zoom and here in person and anybody listening. We appreciate your support.
Thank you all very much.